in order to survive. The drenched man used a dagger to split the bullet in two, but who would have thought that what came out was a few drops of river water? Shivering from the cold, Jack could only take out another bullet. He knew that if this is what happened next, his life would be at stake. Fortunately, this bullet was not affected by the river water, and then he poured the gunpowder inside the cartridge onto the stake. Forced to endure the cold brought about by the sub-zero degree weather, he broke the surrounding branches into small pieces and placed them next to the gunpowder. Then, he found another bullet and grabbed the knife from the ground, repeatedly tapping the back of the bullet. But after a while, shivering, he couldn't concentrate at all. Jack knew that if he continued like this, he would end up frozen into an ice sculpture, and he kept reassuring himself to keep his mind at ease. Next, he fixed the bullet and used the knife's tip to aim at its base. Then he picked up the stone and kept tapping the handle of the dagger. With his efforts, a small warm flame began to flicker. To better warm himself and treat his wound, he quickly took off his wet coat. He grabbed his flask and took a big swig. With the help of the paralyzing effect of the alcohol, he poured the rest of the liquor on the wound. The moment the alcohol touched him, the pain from the wound instantly swept through his body. After sterilizing the wound with alcohol, he endured the pain and picked up the cloth on the ground, quickly rolled it into a pile and stuffed it directly into his mouth, and bit it to death. Then he picked up the dagger, wiped off the snow and ice attached to the blade, and then plunged the dagger into the wound. With his movements, the bullet was soon pried out. Even though he was now in pain, Jack still stuck the dagger into the fire. He bit down on the cloth again and pressed the hot knife onto the wound for further disinfection. This time, the pain not only made him fall to the ground, but also made him lose consciousness for a short while. Meanwhile, the bounty hunters who wanted to kill him were still approaching. As the fire slowly dies out, Jack awakens from the cold, realizing that the enemy was approaching. He grabbed his clothes and ran deeper into the jungle, but in order to confuse the enemy, he turned back, trying to use the multi-directional footprints to confuse the direction of the enemy's pursuit. Finally, he was taking a branch and sweeping the footprints on his way to escape. He ran to a tree before realizing that this was only a temporary delay. If he wanted to get rid of the enemy, he had to eliminate them. Looking at the tree in front of him, he had a good idea.